not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? And we're talking about practice.
Best believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than one, then it's not me. It's beef, we strut a nigga block, that's chopped cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting him, that's Ali. You reach, I teach him with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machines, you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'ma go, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes. Try to stomach this thug life, they brain got the nose bent different. All heads coming out the foe, connected from Cali to New York, niggas, so let it go. Made for this, nigga, I eat bars and drink flows, thinking you woke until your third eye a peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy, it's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early, this bitch a cheat code. It ain't a game, these niggas lame, state bring a shame. If I'm with an officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same, you want the easy pass, tell him change his lane. Shit, I've been through the fire, you can't stand the rain, take an aim. Tell him running, he can try his best. Drive a car named after me, that's why I'm in the vet. Lamping these niggas once again, and I ain't break a sweat. Number 1 at everything I do, that's why I'm one west. The Lord is not the God of the dead, so when I die, coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this, janitor with the mop stick. You gon' need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, 10 for 10 I do not miss. I'm barking with a full bulldog, it is not mixed. They can see that my mind's sick, I don't write, I find shit. I don't like it, then I'll switch. If I touch it, it's diamond. Tell a bitch that I'm God sent. It ain't because my kicks is built like 5'6", 5'7", is my bitch. Dangerous, high risk, I lose it, get another one. You think I'm talking about a girl, I'm talking about another gun. We here now, hey look, it is what it is now. We don't fuck with the house niggas, we burn the crib now. I'm ahead now, and I hope they can hear now. I don't care if you think it's it, nigga, I don't fear clown. Silences make it sound like raindrop, that's a quiet storm. Get the job done in the view and get fired on. If you niggas standing for nothing, what you dying for? If you put real with real, that's how I was born. Walking this bitch ready for war, I'm in riot form. I want these niggas to see me flex, that's why I am armed. I shouldn't live in the crib, nigga, I should buy a farm to go through this shit so effortless. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3.
Get cable-free live TV and access to add-ons like Sports Plus to watch.
But I'm a player and there's no more women riding for me. I avoided Maury, I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Gun on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on this war in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in this war in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this, see pictures. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that guy flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Tahoe Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Light is in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed, y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. They can't, the streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know lie. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the squab in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know lie. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the squab in my whole life. My whole life.
Messed up, no. Bad news, picture beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, told that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaselina like my Nina Puffer Ford. Took a Zoc, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like the dark. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harbor Free. Try to hope me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the fart. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low. Told that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas. Get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the count and with you speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and outdone. Can't do with them steppers, niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low. Told that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. And I just made the call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
I got you. Let it vibe real quick.
Look. City eyes, it's time to Bogart. My God, a real nigga, cause he want no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shotty in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, when tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation falls if you fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit fitted, times two. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. Colder than the avalanche, way above average. My friends taste sweet, told them make me an apple crisp. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope failed. Shall become a man, dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evanston with Marquardt, telling me how the crackers turn his childhood to a ghost town. Poke a sock, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no tangent. Try to warn them niggas, we bear arms like tarantulas. Them other niggas rap, I make anthems. I really see profits under this banner. Made my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty Diana. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo. Spirit ancient, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Wardo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Hate me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. Round with Yara down, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence, yeah.
I knew what I said was gonna cause some tension. That's okay, I stand on everything I said. But since y'all are having such a disconnect, let me go ahead and break it down for you. You don't have to go to college to find a man. But what's not common is you don't see a lot of black women sitting in the audience either engaged or married, even though we are the most enrolled. On top of that, 1 in 4 of us are married. So, even though black men marry us at higher rates than they marry outside of their race, and they are the demographic that marries interracially the most, they're still not marrying black women at substantial rates compared to other races. White women almost double in marriage. What I'm speaking to is a mentality. Black women is the only group of women that says things as a collective. I don't need a man. I'm strong and independent. Fuck a nigga, get money. I can raise my kids on my own. I can do everything by myself. We're the only group of women that disassociate ourselves from our men. And the very moment that they come with their preferences in response to our standards, we have the audacity to say things like they're insecure, sassy, zesty, misogynistic, or they just simply
Man, hey, shalom, y'all about Shimmy Abasha Thumb, y'all with Shamar Thumb by Shimmy Abasha. Feel me? This precinct officer, I'm a Wanga Bar, Tuesday brotherhood class. And what we're going to talk about tonight is the tree of knowledge of good and evil / temptation. You feel me? And that little video we just played before class was so heavy because the sister is just breaking down the effects of you feel me, taken from the tree of good and evil, you feel me, which is the knowledge of the other nations, you feel me, which is the livelihood of the other nations, which is we not supposed to do. We're supposed to stay separate and never know about what happens when you take on temptation. You feel me? That was the whole point. We was never supposed to know what happened, you feel me, when you smoke weed or you smoke crack or you smoke heroin. We was never supposed to know that. We was never supposed to know. The women were never supposed to know what happened if you get 5 baby daddies. You feel me? And now you want to call them zesty. And that's what she said. She said they zesty because they don't want to be with her. Now they gay. That's basically what zesty means. Like, if you don't know, you feel me? If you ain't hip to what's going on, get in tune with the times. But that's a whole nother topic. You feel me? But yeah, though, these women specifically, man, is falling into temptation and they destroying themselves. And that's Satan's plan. That was his plan in the garden. And it's happening, you feel me, right now. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Right now, the serpent, you feel me, is the so-called white man, and we suffering from temptation. He tempting us with his devices, and we falling into it. You feel me? And that's why the Bible called a woman a weaker vessel, because she will fall into temptation quicker than a man. You feel me? Just like Adam and Eve. But if I may, we got a couple articles to bring out, and then we'll get into the scriptures about this tree of knowledge of good and evil. Feel me? Which is basically just temptation. So yeah, if I could, let's go to that article about Young Thug. You gotta understand what's going on with Young Thug. Him and his whole crew, they called a RICO indictment. State. It ain't federal, so they might be, able to get away with it, might not, but it's a state RICO, and it's all comes from taken from that tree of good and evil, which is what the Most High never wanted us to do. You go ahead, whatever you got.
Young Thug's RICO trial is about to get started, during which prosecutors will present evidence backing their case, and controversially that will include some of his lyrics. Now,
they was always told that they couldn't use lyrics to indict you. Now they can. They was told that you can't, because you could be lying, you could be joking, but they're gonna try to use his lyrics, you feel me, to indict him. And that's what we talking about with this tree of good and evil, you feel me? That temptation, you feel me? That temptation to destroy you, man. And that's why the Most High didn't want us to take from the tree of good and evil. He only wanted us doing the right things. He didn't want us doing the wrong things and suffering the consequences from it. He never wanted us to know about RICOs, prison, slavery, none of that stuff. We brought this upon ourselves. You go ahead.
Opening arguments are scheduled to kick off Monday in Fulton County, when Young Thug is facing serious charges, including conspiracy, participating in criminal street gang activity, possession of a firearm, and controlled substance charges, among others. He's pleaded not guilty, with his defense attorney insisting his name will be cleared through the proceedings.
Right, and this is what I'm saying, man. We was told growing up the only way we can make it out the hood is rapping, selling drugs, or playing sports. Feel me? And this brother chose the gang violence. You feel me? He sold selling drugs, and now it's coming back on him, man. And that's what we talking about with this tree of good and evil, man. We never was supposed to partake, you feel me, and none of that type of stuff, man. That is Esau's lifestyle. That's what he do. And we got that from the Italian mob, you feel me? And that's what the trees was. The trees was the other nations. This stuff we getting charged for nowadays, man, this stuff is what the Italian mob used to do. We was somewhere working at some factory or something, and the Italian mob was getting charged with RICOs, racketeering, and stuff like that. You go ahead.
Thug is one of several individuals who've been charged in a sweeping case, but he's a key defendant, as the feds allege he is one of the head honchos of YSL, which they claim is not only a music label brand, but a violent criminal enterprise.
Sounds just like the Italian mob.
The allegations against Thug and the other 27 co-defendants date back to 2015, and some defendants, not Thug, are facing murder, attempt murder, and armed robbery charges. Even more alarming is the fact prosecutors are expected to cite specific lyrics YSL members have rapped to help build the case against them.
See, this is what I'm saying. Like we chose the tree of good and evil. We were just supposed to eat from the tree that the Most High told us. Feel me? Which is our culture, our customs, our laws, and commandments that Moses laid down. It was the same thing that Adam and them was doing. But Adam and Eve, you feel me? Of course, the woman was deceived first, chose to take on the heathen customs, and brought sin into the world. And that's what's happening right now.
It's caused a lot of outrage, with some arguing rap lyrics shouldn't be allowed as evidence in a case. claiming they often blur the lines between artistic expression and reality. It's unclear which lyrics exactly are going to be mentioned, but some of the songs prosecutors are looking at have been revealed. They include Young Thug's 2018 hit Anybody, plus tracks from YSL's 2020 compilation album like Take It to Trial, Ski, and Slack.
and it's just supposed to be all fun and game. Rap just supposed to be fun. You hear me? Fuck the police. Fuck the police. It's just supposed to be fun and games, man. NWA, they weren't even all gangster. I think Eazy-E was the only one that was a gangster. You feel me? But these guys is turning their raps, you feel me, into real life. Instead of just rapping, they really doing what they saying. You feel me? And now they seeing the consequences that come from it. I don't know what they thought with that. I mean, the Lord told us, man, don't eat from the tree of good and evil. And we doing it and we seeing the consequences. You go ahead.
Prosecutors allege YSL members, including Thug, explicitly referred to criminal activity in those tracks, and they furthered the objective of the group, namely preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise. While Thug is about to have his day in court, one of his cohorts and fellow label mates, Gunna, already accepted.
So like it. Gunna say, "Let me out." Salakia. So if Gunna or anybody else took a plea deal, that means they're admitting to it. You feel me? You can't take a plea deal unless you're admitting to what they're saying is truth to it. You feel me? You go ahead.
Now, Slacky, if I may, the Young Thug is a captive being addresses and shit, right?
Yeah, he wore a dress on his first album. I think, he had a dress on his album cover.
That's all I had.
Yep. Partaking in these sins. That's the tree of good and evil. That's partaking in these heathen customs, which is sin. You feel me? That's all it is. That's all they do is sin.
While Thug is about to have his day in court, one of his cohorts and fellow label mates, Gunna, already accepted a plea deal that saw him released from custody.
Got my check and I was gone. Shit, I said I'd never leave the hood. Yeah, got my check and I was gone.
Give him some bread and Pepsi.
Paid $100,000 for this house. Hell no, it's a lot. You gotta watch next Friday to get that. Hold on, wait. I said, y'all, what do you say? Where did it go? He say repo. Got hit with the Rico. Everything was all good just a week ago. Hell no. Everything was all good just a week ago. Y'all diamond chains glistening. That's what y'all was in it for. But y'all didn't understand the repercussions, just like Adam and Eve. You feel me? They seen the heathens doing what they wanted to do. They partaked in it. And didn't understand the repercussions, man.
He was sentenced to 5 years with 1 year credit for time served. The remaining 4 years were suspended.
Damn.
So no more time behind bars if he stays out of trouble. That's a state sentence.
Rico, we wanted to be like the Italian mob. And look at us now. Wanted to be like the Italian mob. Wanted to be like the heathens. Every time we want to be like the heathens, look what happened. Look what happened. Don't want to be ourselves for nothing. Want to be everything but what the Lord wanted us to be, which is the chosen people of God. So yeah, we'll drop that. Let's go to the NFL player.
NFL's Damar Hamlin walking, released to Buffalo area hospital.
Now this is the football player that he collapsed, I think right before the game or something like that, and they canceled it. Almost died, almost lost his goddamn life because he was told since a little kid the only way he could make out the hood is playing sports. That's what he was told. That's what we all was told. Gotta hoop, you feel me? Sell drugs or rap.
That's like if I make Hamlin, that's a famous name. That might be for another class. NFL's Damar Hamlin walk-in released to Buffalo area hospital. Buffalo Bills safety to undergo tests for cause of his cardiac arrest.
All that to just make it in Esau Kingdom. We could have just had our own.
A week after his collapse on the field during the Monday Night Football game, NFL safety Damar Hamlin is walking and already back in Buffalo in the care of a local hospital.
And it's funny though, after he woke up from this cardiac arrest and all this stuff, he said, who won the game?
Damn.
That's what he said. He said, who won the game? Nigga, you almost died. Who the fuck cares who won the game? The hell, that's what I'm saying. You feel me? That's what we was told. We was told to play football, basketball, sell drugs, rap. The only way to make it out the hood. So that's all he know. That's all he care about. Because he know without football, he's going back to the hood.
Hamlin was accompanied to the airport by his care team and left Cincinnati this morning. The Buffalo Bills football player is now being observed at another hospital to make sure there's no impact of the flight on his condition and lungs, according to William Knight IV, MD, an emergency medicine and neurocritical care physician at UC Health and University of Cincinnati Medical Center, speaking during the press conference. He shared that Hamlin was extubated on Friday and was weaned off of oxygen.
All this for what? Just to play 3 years in football? You know the average? Hold on, wait. I ain't got Alexa. Hey Siri, what's the average time length of an NFL player?
Here's an answer from CareerTrend.com. According to the NFL Players Association, the average career of an NFL player is 3.3 years.
Is what? Okay, this ain't Alexa. But okay, she ain't is corroborative. But the average year, the average span of an NFL player's career is 3.3 years. So this man Hamlin and thousands of other players grow up training, exercising, doing all that, risking their life, their body, getting paralyzed, broken bones, never been able to walk again, never been able to see again, concussions for 3.3 years of football. Come on, man, stop it, man. 3.3 years is all a football career is worth. Your life isn't worth more than 3.3 years, but because you eating from the tree of good and evil, you don't see it. You don't see it.
He walked his first lap also on Friday and has a normal gait with no indication of cervical spine injury. He's now undergoing physical therapy to regain strength and tolerating a regular diet.
And do he not know that nobody's never going to hire him again? I don't think he know that. After what happened to him, you think they're going to risk their money on you? To do what? So you could just get hurt again or what? Stand on the field? You lost everything. You worked since you was 10 years old. You trained for this day. And you lost it. You blew it. Because it was never meant for you to gain anyway. Football is not even a sport that scientists say is not even healthy. Well, Will Smith played the doctor. It was an African doctor that came up with the disease that football players get. I can't think of the name of it. You feel me? But just Google Will Smith playing a doctor in a movie, and you will see it was a true story about a doctor that studied. And he said, God, this was his exact words, God did not intend for us to play football. That's the exact statement from the doctor. And they tried to kill him. He had death threats, and he was African. He wasn't an Israelite. He was an African dude, but he got death threats and all type of stuff because he was finna cost the NFL billions of dollars. And that's when they came out with the concussion protocol and the no helmet to helmet contact. You get thrown out the game and fined $500,000 if you hit helmet to helmet. Because instead of just canceling football and doing away with the sport, they tried to reconstruct it so they can still make their money. But he said God did not intend for us to play football because he said every animal got cushion around their brain. The cheetah, he did a study on the cheetah. The cheetah got this tongue wrapped around his brain. So when it's running that fast, it don't shake against his head. They say humans the only species on Earth that has no cushion between the skull and the brain. And that's when he could construct it and came up with the fact we was not supposed to be playing football. That's not what we're supposed to be out here doing every day since we're 10 years old.
We continue to be ecstatic about his recovery, said Timothy Pritz, MD, PhD, a trauma surgeon at the same institution. Pritz noted that Hamlin will undergo tests and evaluations to determine the etiology behind his cardiac arrest on the field last week. Some have speculated that the event was caused by comatose cordis or an underlying cardiomyopathy. Previously, the care for Team Hamlin confirmed that Hamlin initially had a pulse when he was hit during the game and fell to the ground.
Man, he almost died. He almost died for 3.3 years? Man, that's crazy.
When he lost the pulse, responders started CPR, followed by defibrillation within minutes. Hamlin was then moved to an ambulance where he was intubated for respiratory support and arrived at the hospital within 45 minutes of his collapse.
That's crazy. Because I played football. I guess that's why I take it a little personal. Because I played football because I was told growing up that's the only way to make it out the hood is either playing football, playing ball, not just football, any sport. Playing sports, rapping, you feel me, or selling drugs. Like real talk.
Hamlin was defibrillated on the field only once. He did not receive a second defibrillation or CPR in the ambulance or at the hospital, Knight said last week.
There's so many black people fill up the basketball courts, the football arenas, soccer. We just fill it up. And all we doing is trying to partake in their kingdom. This is the same thing Adam and Eve suffered. You go ahead.
And so like I said, if I may, what you bringing out is so heavy. You over here talking about he's done. Like ain't nobody finna hire him for what?
Wow.
But when I was reading, the doctor that actually works for the institution he got hurt at, it's talking about we're excited about his recovery.
That is because they just use us. They're using us to make money. They need us to make their money. That's why, like I was saying with the doctor, he said that God did not intend for us to play football just the way our bodies is structured. But all they did was come up with a concussion protocol, was no helmet to helmet contact. Because I remember back in the day when I played football, helmet to helmet was, if you hit somebody with your helmet, it just made a sound that made, you feel me? You leveled them. And that's why we didn't even know. That's why, because you hit them in their head. So that's why they flew back like that and, lost consciousness and all that. We thinking it was funny though. You feel me?
In the hospital, he was in the surgical ICU and put on mechanical ventilation and aggressive targeted temperature management until he was extubated on Friday. Going forward, he no longer needs intensive respiratory therapy or nursing, according to Pritz. Nevertheless, at this stage, the Cincinnati care team said it was premature to discuss Hamlin's timeline for recovery and a potential return to football.
And who? And what?
At this stage, the Cincinnati care team said it was premature to discuss Hamlin's timeline for recovery and a potential return to football.
Why are they even thinking about that? Why is he even thinking about his potential return to football? He almost died on the field. Why would he even care about his return? Do he not care about his kids, his mother, his friends, seeing him again? Come on, man. What Load of Luck say? You too tough to fly through the friendly skies? You feel me? What Load of Luck say about a blackface Salaka? That's a battle rap joke. If you ain't watch battle rap, you don't know, man. But yeah, though, man. Come on, man. Get you a regular job. Start you a business with that money you made from the NFL. The hell do you want to return to NFL for after that happened, man? I'm telling you, man. So yeah, we could drop that. Let's go to Genesis 2:16. Because that's crazy right there. That after all that stuff he's been through, now he wants to return to football. He's even thinking about what, man. That's because the devil got a hold on us. And that's all we know is football, selling drugs, or rapping.
The book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 16. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
Right, yeah, that's talking about the knowledge, wisdom, the trees. Adam read the stars. These trees he reading, man, he reading out the sky of what he can do. You feel me? What the Most High want him to do, man.
Verse 17, but the tree of the knowledge of good and evil,
right,
thou shalt not eat of it.
Eat. You feel me? Don't eat of that. You feel me? Don't take that in. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil, man. Temptation. You don't want to take on that, man. That's not what you want to do.
For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Thou shalt surely die. He say every tree you can eat of. He talking about the customs that he gave us. You feel me? You can do this. You can do that. You can eat beef. You can eat salmon. You can do this stuff. All this wisdom giving you this knowledge, you can do this. But the one of good and evil, don't touch that. And that's talking about them heathen customs, man. What the heathens doing. Feel me? Because you will die. And this death, what he was talking about, was spiritual. It was not a physical death. You feel me? It's a spiritual death, which gonna cause physical death. If you spiritually dead, it's gonna cause physical deaths. You feel me? It's gonna spread like a virus. And that's how the flood happened with Noah. Because this virus that they took on, you feel me? From the tree of good and evil, taking on them customs of the heathens, it spread it like a virus. So where the Lord was disgusted and he wanted to kill everything, man. Everything. So you could drop that. Let's go to Genesis 20. I mean, not Genesis. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 25 and 24.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin.
Of the who?
Of the woman came the beginning of sin.
Right, and this is what we just was talking about. You feel me? We were just talking about this in Genesis. This is why the Lord told us to write everything down. You feel me? To give it to the future generations so they can know, so they can have the wisdom, you feel me, of what to do and what not to do. You feel me? And the Bible say of the woman came the beginning of sin. Eve did this. She took on the serpent's customs. You Feel me? And gave it to Adam, and he did it too. And it caused sin. It was the beginning of sin in our nation. Because the heathens can't sin because the heathens ain't God's people. Adam and Eve was God's people. It's a difference.
And through her, we all died.
And we did. Look in the neighborhoods. Look what's happening in the neighborhoods. Look at the murder rate in the neighborhood. Feel me? Look at the child molestation in the Christian church. Feel me? Look at all the stuff happening. We leading in all categories of death. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And through Eve, we all died. We leading in all categories. Just name one. That's all you got to do. Name a category, we at the top. So yeah, you could drop that. Let's go to Ephesians 2:2.
Okay. The book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 2. Where in time past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air.
Right. And that's what we doing. You feel me? That's what we always did. We did that with the serpent in the garden, man. You feel me? The serpent in the garden, Esau, the so-called white man, is all the same spirit. And in times past, we walked according to the course of this world. And it caused the flood. It caused us all to die, man. To be at the bottom of society, man. According to the prince of the power of the air. Who is that? Who controls the air? Come on, man, stop it. So-called white man controls the air. The internet, the planes, the Black Hawk helicopters, man. He got the best Air Force. That's proof right there. America has the #1 Air Force, and guess who got the second best Air Force? Israel, the Jewish man. You go ahead.
Yeah, so Lucky, if I may, I had a question. When it says the prince of the power of the air, can we use this for media too? Like the airwaves, the radio, the TV?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's talking about. It's a metaphor. The scriptures is a manifold. You feel me? The prince of the air, this is talking about a spiritual. But right now with the internet, you feel me? That's the same thing. You feel me? But back then, it was just talking about the vibes that go around. But now the vibes is going through what? The internet. You feel me? That's how people catching the vibes through the internet. That's how people in China know to call us a nigga. You feel me? To look at us like we is the devil when the whole time we the children of God. It's because of the air. Because of what America is showing the world about us, but not showing how we the ones is keeping this country flowing and keeping it rich. And that's why he's called the prince of the air, because he's able to show these kingdoms, you feel me, what he wants to show them.
The spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience.
Hold on, wait, read that one more time. Like I was reading something else.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 2. Where in time past you walk according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air.
Tree of good and evil. That's what I'm saying. We taking on his philosophies.
The spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience.
Right. The children of disobedience. You feel me? That's exactly what we is. You feel me? We children of disobedience. The heathens can't be disobedient because who do they serve? Who do they go to? Only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you feel me, can be disobedient because we the children of God. We got laws and commandments. They don't. They can do whatever the hell they want to do, man. That's why we suffering, man. How the hell we fill up the whole football arena, but we the ones dying, almost dying from cardiac arrest? Why it ain't no devil? You feel me? Why it ain't a so-called white man or Asian? You feel me? Why it ain't no African catching cardiac arrest and almost dying for trying to flourish playing football, being the best football player? Come on, man, stop it. Because we living out these curses, man. That's exactly what's happening. We living out these curses. So yeah, you can drop that. Let's go back to Ecclesiasticus. Let's go to 9 and 11.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 9, verse 11. envy not the glory of a sinner.
Mm-hmm.
But I know
envy not the glory of a sinner, man. And you know who we envying? The so-called white man. The same way we did with Adam and Eve in the garden. We envied them. You feel me? We envied the serpent. The serpent was a nation of people. That serpent that came to Adam and Eve, he came from a nation of people that was serpents. The same way the so-called white man comes from a nation of serpents to you, telling you what you should do. You feel me?
For thou knowest not what shall be his end.
Right. You don't know what shall be the end. You feel me? You don't know. You don't know what the end shall be. You just taking on his customs and his philosophies the same way Adam and Eve did. And now you getting cardiac arrest. You playing football since you was 10 years old. You finally make it to the NFL, you get cardiac arrest and almost die. You was a game banker, you start rapping to make it in this world, and then you catch a RICO for rapping about all the stuff you used to do. Man, come on, man. Stop it.
Verse 12. Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in.
Right. Delight not in the thing. How you having fun and admiring the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in? The so-called white man and all these heathens, man, they sinners and they prospering. So you think you're going to prosper too, and then you end up in prison for 50 years. And they end up on probation, and you wondering why. Because you God's chosen people, and they not. It's that simple. How the hell Young Thug catching a RICO when that was invented for the Italian mob? That was invented for the Italian mob. That had nothing to do with black people. We was farmers and sheep herders. Ain't that what the Bible said? You feel me? That's what the Bible said. You feel me? We was farmers and sheep herders and stuff. How the hell you catching a RICO? Because you partaking in they customs, man. It's that simple. You want to be the Godfather. You want to be a good fella. It's a lock here.
Yeah, Salaki, if I may, what you bringing out is so heavy. We was absolutely farmers because when the Italian mobs and the Jewish gangs were starting, we was sharecropping in the old South.
Man, it's biblical. Nothing new under the sun. And that's so heavy because I wasn't even thinking about that. I was really thinking about in Egypt when we was farmers and sheep herders. I wasn't even thinking about in the South with the cotton and all that stuff. I wasn't even thinking about that.
We was sharecropping.
Right. Muddy waters and all them. That's what they said. Going away to leave. Going on back down. Going on back south. Look, see, I'm young, but I know some muddy waters and some little waltzers. They call it sharecropping music. You feel me? They call it sharecropping music. When they came to Chicago, they say, we don't want to hear that sharecropping music. We don't want to hear that sharecropping music the whole time. Them niggas then blew up. Salaka, that's a whole nother story, though. You feel me? I ain't gonna lie to you. But we at? We just finished that off and we done with that one.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 12. Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember, they shall not go unpunished unto their grave.
They should not go unpunished. It's gonna happen. Why you think you catching RICOs and you having cardiac arrest and all this stuff happening? You're getting 30 years, 40 years, and you feel me? All this stuff. Because remember, they shall not go unpunished until their grave, man. Ungodly ain't going unpunished. You feel me? You ain't digging in the scene with a gangster lean, sun rooftop. That's not happening. What they say, the gangsters die and move to Miami? No, they don't. No, they do not. They do not retire and move to Miami. They die or go to prison for the rest of their life, man. Real talk. But remember, they shall not go unpunished until their grave. That's what the Bible say. That's what the Bible say about all these people that's sinners, man, and think they're going to get away with it. You feel me? So, yeah, if I could get a little bit more of that, you dig. If I may. But yeah, though, man. I don't know what's going on, man. Young Thug and them supposed to learn from all the other people that went. The thing about learning and wisdom, it's better to learn from other people's mistakes. You feel me? It's better you learn from other people's mistakes, not your own. You feel me? You learning from your own mistakes, man. That's stupid and dumb as hell. I ain't gonna say that, right? That's stupid and dumb as hell. I'm learning from my own mistakes. No, you gotta learn from the people above you that made those same mistakes that you made, that you about to make. Feel me? I think that's one thing that kept me out of doing a long prison sentence growing up. Because I done seen so many people do it. I say, what do I gotta do to not do that? You feel me? What do I gotta do to not go to prison for 10, 15 years? And then come home and think everybody's supposed to just welcome me home with open arms. And that's another lie of the serpent. You don't go to jail and come home to open arms, birthday parties, and a big party, welcome home. No, that's in the movies. When you come home from a long prison sentence, man, look, you like a little kid. And you got to start all over with no help. You're not going to come home to people passing you thousands of dollars like, huh? You might have your mama, your sister, and maybe one of your brothers that was real. Because even your real brothers ain't going to do it. They're going to be, oh, welcome home. I'm talking about your real brothers, families, not just your homies. You come home from jail, only people might be there is your mama, your sister, and maybe you might have one family member that really loved you when you was gone. Real talk. Otherwise, you're going to come home to nothing. Feel me? So yeah, let's go to 1 Ezra 1 and 50 and 51.
The book of 1 Ezra. It's like in 1 Ezra 1 and 50.
Mm-hmm.
The book of 1 Ezra chapter 1 verse 50. Nevertheless, the God of their fathers sent by his messenger to call them back, because he spared them and his tabernacle also.
Mm-hmm. Are we going to 51?
Come. Verse 51. But they had his messengers in derision, and look, when the Lord spake unto them, they made a sport of his prophets.
They did what?
Made a sport of his prophets.
What his name was? DeMar Hamlin? Made sport of his prophets. What the African doctors say, we weren't meant to play football. They made sport of his prophets, man. You know what derision is? Being laughed at. But they had made his messengers in derision. You feel me? They made a mockery of the messengers. You feel me? Which was the priest of the Lord, the people that God chose to be over the people, and they laughed at. And then they made sport of the prophets, man. You feel me? This is like a game to them. They know who he is, man. That's why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians fill up the arenas. Just cut on your TV. You're going to see a nigga. You feel me? Because they made sport of his prophets, man. We the best at everything. This is not nothing new. We've been like this. We've been the best at everything, man. That's what you don't understand. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we've been the best. We just keep eating from the tree of good and evil, which is temptation. We see the other nations prospering, so we try to dive into it, and then realize that ain't for us, man. It ain't for us. And then we go to jail. We die. We almost have cardiac arrest. No, matter of fact, he did have cardiac arrest and almost died on the field. Been training to play football since he was 10 years old. I know because I started playing at 11. That's how I know. You feel me? Football ain't no sport you could just jump into like basketball your sophomore year in high school because you athletic. Football is something you got to be playing at since you was a little baby, man. 11 years old. If you think you're going to make it to the NFL, unless it's just luck. So yeah, we could drop that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 13.
Come. book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 13. There had no temptation taken you but such as is common to man.
Right, man. We all was taught the same thing. Drugs, sports, rap.
But God is faithful.
Nope. You ain't got to do neither one. The Most High is with us. He's with us, man.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
Right. So whatever temptation that you dabbled into, dwelled into, feel me? It was because you fell weak. Because he's not going to tempt you more than you're able to handle. So anything that the Lord put into your life, if you just say, oh, forget it. You feel me? Oh, give me the blunt. Give me the whore. Give me the white girl. Whatever. You feel weak. Because he's not going to tempt you more than he feel like you're able to handle.
But will, with the temptation, also make a way to escape.
Mm-hmm. The Most High is going to make a way to escape. Because that's all life is about, is fighting temptation. Adam and Eve learned the hard way. You feel me? That's all life is about, is fighting temptation. That's all we got to do. When it comes, just beat it up. Just go through it, whether it's loss of money, loss of women, loss of children, whatever. Just fight it and go through it. And you're going to come out on the other side and you're going to be able to tell somebody your story. And they're going to be like, damn, I learned something from him. So I don't have to go through it. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest thing about life, is not going through something you learn from somebody else's mistakes.
That ye may be able to bear it.
Right, you be able to bear it. Anything that happened in your life, you able to bear it. You just got to stay strong. That's all you got to do. I don't care what it is. And I know it sounds Christian because the Christians destroyed the Bible. That's why you got to tune in the crowd spend night every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. We bringing our people back to the Bible. You feel me? We're going to use viral videos and stuff going around on the internet to do it. But more of the story is, you got to understand that anything that comes into your life, that's your battle. And you just got to fight it. Put on your gloves. Put on your boxing gloves. Because it might be something heavy that you think going to destroy you when the whole time. It might not. It might just been to make you stronger and pass that wisdom down to somebody that don't need to ever have to go through that. So you go to 14.
Verse 14. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry.
Flee from idolatry, man. Flee from idolatry. Because a lot of this stuff we partaking in is idolatry. You trying to get the Nike contract. Yeah, I need to get signed by Nike and woo. Do you know Nike is a Greek god? Did you know that? All you gotta do is Google it. I'm not a genius. I'm not sitting up here trying to pretend I'm some scholar. I'm a college professor. I just use my fucking phone and I Google stuff and research. And I found out Nike is a Greek god of the same thing that they teach, that they promote, which is athletics. Feel me? Hold on, wait. Hey Siri. I ain't got Alexa. So like, hey Siri, what is the god Nike attributes? Hey Siri, who is the god Nike?
Here's some information.
Hey Siri, who is the Greek god Nike?
Here's an answer from ancientsymbols.com. He was the god of sky and thunder in Greek mythology.
No, it's not saying that right. Nike. There you go. She thought I said Mikey. Okay, it say Nike was a goddess, so it was a woman. Mm-hmm. There they go, worshiping women who personified victory in any field, including art, music, war, and athletics. Mm-hmm. Athletics. And the Bible say, wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. You want that Nike contract? You worshiping a God and not even knowing it. You worshiping a God. The God of athletics is Nike. Come on, man, stop it. ISUPK and the Commander Jayhana. If I may. So yeah, let's drop that and let's go to Romans 8 and 18.
Come. The book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are now worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
Now, we just been talking about this whole time. Feel me? The suffering that you suffering right now is not even worthy to what you gonna get. We have not got our kingdom yet. That's what y'all don't understand. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, our kingdom has not come yet. And when it do come, it's gonna last forever. And we're gonna be ruling, and we're gonna be the first class citizens in the whole world. We're gonna be the richest people on earth. Nobody's gonna be able to compare to us. And this suffering you doing to become the best football player, to become a rapper, and catch a Rico 3 years later, the fuck? So like, excuse my language, man. That's not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us, man. You feel me? You gotta suffer. Brothers that want to be drug dealers and make it out the hood, this and that. You so thirsty to make it out the hood. I mean, I understand you want to prosper. Ain't nothing wrong with prospering. But these brothers that sell drugs, you want to be rappers and athletes, man, that's a demon on you. You feel me? That is a demon on you. You ain't just trying to make it out the hood because you want to prosper and give back and help your people. You trying to get away and talk bad on them, which is what most athletes do. What Michael Jordan say, I ain't taking pictures with no nigga. That's what he told Chameleon. Chameleon tried to take a picture with him. He said, I ain't taking pictures with no nigga. Like, damn, homie. In 93, you was the man, homie. What the hell happened to you? It's a lock here. I'm just saying. You feel me? Same thing with the rappers. Jay-Z. What they say with Jay-Z, $500,000 or dinner with Jay-Z. $500,000 or dinner with Jay-Z. You take that dinner with Jay-Z, he gonna tell your ass, nigga, why you ain't take the money? He gonna tell your ass why you ain't take the money, man. And then of course the drug dealers. Look what happened to the drug dealers, man. They get killed, murdered, robbed, all that. You feel me? It's not worth it for what we got coming. None of that temptation of the tree of good and evil is worth it, man. None of that stuff is worth it. All that stuff with the tree and good and evil is sin, and it's destroying us, and it's not worth the trouble, man. So you could drop that. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 4 and 20 in the pocket.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 20. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul.
Right. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil. You got to be smart, I guess. You got to have some common sense. You feel me? Because you got to observe the opportunity instead of jumping on every opportunity you see. You feel me? You got to observe. You got to watch and see what's going on, man. And beware of evil. The only way you can be aware of evil if you observing the opportunities you're given. You giving a rap contract, what they want you to rap about. You giving a football contract, how long is gonna last? You feel me? How long is that gonna last? You selling drugs, who you selling it to? You gotta observe the opportunity and beware of evil. You go ahead.
Verse 21. For there is a shame that bringeth sin.
There's a what?
A shame that bringeth sin.
selling drugs, rapping, want to be a football player. It's a shame that bringeth sin.
And there's a shame, which is glory and grace.
And that's what we doing here. You feel me? That's a shame which brings glory and grace. Go around anybody in your family and tell them what you do. They're going to be ashamed of you. You feel me? They're going to be ashamed of you because you teach the truth. Because you ready to die and give up everything. People be looking at me crazy when I be telling them like, man, look, I don't care about no money. I'm serving the Lord. It's a shame which bring glory and grace. Or guess what I could be doing? Selling drugs, rapping, trying to play football, which is a shame that brings sin. You feel me? Go ahead.
Verse 22. Accept no person against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall.
Right, man. Accept no person against thy soul. Any person that's against what you believe, don't accept them. That's the problem. You feel me? That's not a problem with people that deal with people that's in the world. Don't accept nobody that's against your soul, that's against what you believe. Why the hell would you do that? And let no reverence of any man cause thee to fail. You feel me? Don't let nobody knock you off your square. You feel me? The men and women in ISUPK, and you better find us sooner than later. We're going to be the future overlords of this world. That's all I'm saying. So you can drop that last scripture. Let's get James 1 and 12.
Come, sir. The book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endured temptation.
Hold on, wait. Blessed is the man that have endured temptation. You feel me? Blessed is the man. Because temptation is what Adam and Eve suffered with the serpent. But they failed and the earth got destroyed. Temptation is what all of y'all going through right now. When you see you a white girl that you say, oh, she might look a little cute. You feel me? You see a motherfucker, you smell some weed. Like, oh, that's that thing right there. You feel me? Blessed is the man that endured temptation. Your job, you feel me? They buy food for everybody on New Year's and Christmas. And you like, I'm good. You feel me? Blessed is the man that have endured temptation.
For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life.
Right. That's the whole point, man. You fight temptation, you win. You win over with Christ and the Most High. That's the point. Winning over with the Most High. You feel me? This temptation that's around you, ain't nobody else did not go through it. Everybody went through it probably worse than you did. And when you fight temptation and you win, you receive that crown of life.
Which the Lord had promised to them that love him.
Right, this is the Most High's game. And we the good player. It's a good player and a bad player. We was chosen to be the good player. But that bad player is tempting us to sin. We're going all the way to 16.
Come, verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God.
That's not true. That's not true. Every man is going through the same thing. God is not personally waving a whore in your face. He's not waving crack in your face like, yeah, smoke this. That's not what he's doing, man.
For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man.
Yeah, it's not God doing it. That's not him, man.
Verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
Right. Every man is tempted of his own lust. You feel me? That's what you want to do. You feel me? That's what you want to do. That's the whole part of life. This is what life is about. Life is about you're here and you got choices to make. Are you going to make the right choice or the bad choice? It's not God saying, I want you to smoke crack. It's him saying, I don't want you to smoke crack. But what you going to do? I don't want you to fuck that hoe. But what you going to do? You gonna do it? Damn, man. That's how the Lord feel when you do it. Like, damn, he ain't happy. They ain't toasting up champagne. He like, damn, I thought we had a good one. But I guess not. You go ahead.
Verse 15. Then when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
Hold on, wait. So like I'm reading ISUPK comments. You say football contact, but better now kneeling to bring light to police brutality. Right, that's what I said. They should have been taking a knee. That's what they get. Colin Kaepernick, they tried to tell y'all something. Trying to show you what you spent me, you little stupid bitch. It's a lot good. It's a lot. I'm gonna get checked for that. But no, it's what else he say? They love you if you selling drugs and smoking weed. You in a coat teaching, right? Smoking weed, getting high. You a outstanding citizen, but you in here telling people not to smoke weed and get high. You in a coat, which is what they say about us. So like, you go here with 15.
Verse 15. Then when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin.
Right, that's where the sin come from. Your lust, the stuff that's inside of you, man. You hear me? You letting it overtake you, the temptation, the tree of good and evil, and it bringeth forth sin.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
Ooh-wee, now you catching them diseases. Now you spiritually dead. Now you smoking crack. Now you homeless. Now you got to smoke weed every day, all day, 24/7. You feel me? Because of the lust that's in you. You had conceived it like a child. Lock it. That's why it's so heavy when they say the lust have conceived, like you having a child. You feel me? Like you giving birth to a baby. The lust, you gave birth to a new spirit that's on you. And it's going to bring forth sin. And sin, and when it's finished, it brings forth death. That's sin and death. They coincide with each other. You sin, you die. Whether it's spiritual or physical, you're going to die.
Verse 16. Do not err, my beloved brethren.
And that's the whole point. That's the whole point about everything. You feel me? Do not err. Just fight it. Fight the temptation. Fight everything you're going through. Do not err. You feel me? And that's life. That's all life is about. You feel me? All life is about is not sinning, not erring, not eating from the tree of good and evil, which is what we've done. You feel me? Since Adam and Eve in the garden. You feel me? If I may, that's the end of tonight's class. Courteous salute to the brothers and sisters watching the stream. Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Barakatham, Yahweh Shema Thumb, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah.